We've seen your testimonials. We've read your blog. We followed you for a long time. And so I'm really super excited about the things that I'm doing right now. So I have a couple of shows all over social media, but please, please just hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss anything that's going on. But tonight, go ahead. I'm telling you, somebody on your friends list needs this lesson tonight. They need to watch this show. This is a live in-person, well, not in person, but Zoom live career coaching session. And I am so excited that these people agreed to do this with me. I am so excited. First, I want to introduce you to an up and coming future CEO in healthcare. Welcome to the show, Justin. Come on in, Justin.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, there he is, guys. So, Justin, we are getting ready to bring on our next guest, but can you just tell them when you contacted me?
So I first contacted DeShannon around the time she posted the video of the 10 tips for your resume. And since then, everything has grown so much and a lot faster than I expected.
Okay, so y'all see, it doesn't take long, and y'all gonna hear a little bit more about Justin in just a few moments. But I want to bring on my second guest, JaPortia. Come on in, JaPortia. She recently graduated with a biology degree, and she's getting ready to just say hello to us as well. Now, I'm not sure where JaPortia's picture is, but we can get her out and back. And there she is. Hey, JaPortia.
Okay, hi. Hi, everyone.
Okay, so JaPortia, how long have you been with me?
I would say about a month.
Okay.
About a month, maybe 3 weeks, around there.
Okay, so it's not long. So Justin contacted me right after we aired our 10 tips to revising your resume. If you haven't seen that, y'all, go back and find that because there's some really good practical tips in there. But I wanted to just talk to these young people and let you guys know what their deciding factor was in contacting me. And we're going to start with you, Justin. So just kind of walk us through what made you decide and, a little bit about what's going on with you.
All right. So I work in healthcare, the clerical side of things, and I'm pursuing my healthcare management degree. And I was kind of in that rut about, I have the skills to do this, but how can I make it happen? How can I grow in my career? And that all comes with a good resume, good interviewing skills, and the knowledge of what steps need to be taken. And when I realized that I could not do all that by myself, I leaned on DeShannon.
Okay. And that's when I tell you that I am invested in you, when you contact me, I am invested. So Portia, what made you decide to contact me?
Well, I was really looking for other forms of employment. I work at the hospital as a medical scribe. I'm currently postgraduate of my biology degree, and I just really wanted something where I can actually use my biology degree. And I was going on interviews and applying. I wasn't really getting as many interviews in return. And then the few interviews that I did have, they went well, but I ended up not getting the job. So I just needed some help with my interviewing skills, definitely revamping my resume because it needed a lot of work. And that's when I got into contact with DeShannon, and she's been so helpful since.
Okay, so everybody says they started with that resume. Okay, so Justin, when you sent me your resume, what was my response?
So at first it was kind of welcoming. I said, okay, we need to look at this a little bit. But on that first call, we tore it down, and it needed it. And we went over all the points. And as you were talking about it, it made sense of why those things needed to change.
What about you, Portia? When you sent me your resume, what was that conversation like?
So as soon as we got on a call, you let me know that you weren't going to sugarcoat anything, and you didn't. You told me flat out that my resume was horrible. So I'm just like, okay, like we went into it directly and you like told me like what was wrong with it. And after, even just that first phone call, I felt confident. Like my confidence began to come back. Like, oh, like she's making good points. Like I'm not really highlighting skills. And it started to make sense why I wasn't getting the response from employers that I thought that I should have been getting.
Okay, so I am not your sugar cookie, ice cream, and cupcake coach, but I really want you guys to see it from my point of view, the hiring manager's point of view. So Japortia kind of alluded to it. Justin, you heard that call.
So when we first had that phone call, you kept it fun, you kept it real, but you were also stern with me. And you made sure that I knew what needed to change, but you also brought up the facts of, okay, this needs to change, but how are we going to fix this? It wasn't just tearing it down, it gave options for how it could be improved.
Yeah, I am very direct. I'm going to use that because that sounds a lot better, guys. I'm very direct, but what I want you to do is see it from another lens. See that sometimes when we start diving into it and when I start talking about really what are you doing in the day and you're selling yourself short, I'm showing you that you are so much more than what you presented on this paper. And so that's what I want to show people, that this paper is all you have to represent yourself, and it needs to put your best foot forward. So we always start with a resume. Now, Japortia just got her finished resume back maybe last week or so. So tell us, Japortia, what your original resume versus the one you got back, what does that look like now?
It looks so much better. Like I felt like I could just go ahead and start applying for things just right away. Like it was a complete 360 from my other resume. It made me think like, oh, I didn't even realize that. I didn't think of wording it the way that you word certain things, and I didn't even like. It just, I don't know. It just made me feel like so confident, because it's like that was one of the things that you wanted to work on me about, like my confidence during my first call. And as soon as I saw the resume, I was just like, wow, like I felt more qualified for jobs I thought I wasn't qualified for. I felt qualified for them, that I could accomplish those duties on a job. So.
I love it. I love when somebody sees it and I show them, this is how I see you. Now I want you to present that to the world. So let me give you a little bit about Justin. Justin was working at a job that could eventually lead to a bigger thing, but it's a slow process. When you work in a hospital system, there's steps you have to go through. There's a lot of hoops you have to jump, and there's a lot of hands making the decisions. And so he had an opportunity to apply actually at 2 places, but I knew both of these places, and I knew some people that we knew because I've been around. I know I've lived everywhere. I know a lot of people, and we actually knew some of the people that he would be working with. And so Justin, take us from calling about the resume to telling me about these interviews and interviewing, and then your next step. So tell us how the process kind of went, and it went really fast for you.
Really fast. So it all started with that initial message to DeShannon. Hey, I have this resume. What can we do here? So we went through the couple of phone calls of talking about, hey, these are some points that look terrible, and these are some points that you do well in. So, it's a good balance between those. And we went through, we started talking about interview questions and coaching me on good responses. And it's all within you, but it's how DeShannon can bring it out and your best way that you can present it, because it's all about perception. Mm-hmm. So as we went through that, we started getting interviews and phone calls. And every time I would get one, here I am texting DeShannon, letting her know. And, it's good to not only have a motivational coach, but also someone in your corner that's going to keep things real with you.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. And so what Justin did, he actually had 2 interviews relatively within a short time, but they were so different. The type of
Mhm.
interview was different with both sets of people, till I am happy to report that he got a job offer and accepted it. And if you guys know anything, I just did that 10 tips in June. I think it was the last of May or 1st of June or something. It's not been that long ago. So he has a job offer. We negotiated his contract, and we really aren't through yet. So when I tell you he will be a healthcare CEO, hands down, no doubt about that. I'm going to come back to you in just a second, Justin. I'm going to tell you a little bit about JaPortia. JaPortia, I noticed initially that her confidence wasn't what I'd like for it to be when you're going on a job interview. You're interviewing with literally hundreds of people. And if we get her resume good, that does nothing if you don't present well once you're face to face. So we started working on how to introduce yourself. And we've gone through that multiple times because I want you to practice with me. It's no wrong with me. I will stop you, start you, stop you, start you, stop you, start you. She had this thing of saying at first or like. And I was like, nope. If she says any of those 2 buzzwords, I stopped her. And we gave her a couple of tips she can do because she is nervous. Everybody is nervous. So, JaPortia, kind of talk to them about how we're doing your confidence building training.
Oh yes. So I'm actually like a really nervous person. Like I don't like being in front of a lot of people, and especially like during interviews because I know it's so important. It makes my nerves skyrocket basically. So one major tip that DeShannon told me was to basically just let them know that I'm nervous because they'll give me some time to like get my thoughts together, get the verbiage out correctly, and then it makes them like more understanding, and that made me feel a lot more comfortable. I'm just like, okay, so I can let them know that I'm nervous, and then they'll see that how like important it is for me because I can tell them how I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous about this job. I really want to do well. And that was like perfect for me because it gives me time to like kind of breathe a little bit. You're like, okay, now think it through. And then it gives them understanding. It was perfect. That was like the perfect tip for me.
Okay, that was a great tip for Portia. Tell them something that I might have shared with you or that stood out, or I know that you've been talking about me in a good way, I hope, to some of your colleagues because they've been contacting me. So give them something that maybe I said or done or mentioned that really stood out for you.
So one thing that really stood out to me was we all think that we're worth more, but it's got to be on paper and you've got to be able to present it. And if you can't effectively put it on your resume, like during our first conversation, DeShannon wanted to know a little bit about what I do. So I started telling her about it, and her first words, "Where's that out on your resume?" So it's all about getting that out there. And once you get that built well and you're able to answer questions, the job's yours.
Yeah. It becomes easier with practice. I don't just do what I do off the gate. I've practiced it several times. And that's why I let you guys practice with me. I will start you over. I will say, that's a good answer, but let's add to that. Or let's stop and start again. Breathe. It's just me. It's just me. So mess up as many times as you want to with me because that's what I'm for. So if you had to tell somebody that may be struggling with, am I good enough, or do I need a coach, or why do I need a coach? What would you tell them? I'm going to start with Portia. What would you tell somebody that may not even know that they need a coach?
I would tell them that they probably do because it's like you never know how you come across to someone else. Like seeing it from someone else's point of view definitely changes because I thought my resume was good. I thought that how I presented myself in an interview was good.
What would you tell somebody if they that they may or may not know they need a career coach?
I would say that it never hurts to have a second opinion, even if you think you have it together, because you never know how you would come off to someone else. So you may think you have it all together, but having someone else to just like go through it with you or go through the process with you, it was always helpful. There's nothing ever wrong with having positive feedback or criticism.
I love it. So Justin, what if somebody was saying to you, well, how did you do it, man? You was just over here at an hourly position and now your salary with amazing benefits and on your way. What would you tell them?
Well, it all starts with the basics. First, are you happy with what you're doing? If you're happy with where you're at, then you don't need a career coach because you don't want more. But if you're in a point where you want more, you have to ask yourself, why haven't I gotten to that point? And that's when you start going through with DeShannon, and she is going to make sure that you know what points you need to work on.
Well, I am super excited, and I'm going to talk a little bit because I want to do something with them. Everybody's like taking a deep breath, like, please don't ask me to introduce myself to Shannon. Please don't ask me to do that. But I do it all the time. But I'm not going to ask you that. I'm going to ask you both an interview question that there's no right or wrong, but I just want to hear your response. And we do this all the time, guys. Y'all know if y'all call me, I'm going to get at least one interview question in there. Portia jumped out. She'll come back in just a moment. So we'll just keep on with you, Justin. So the question is, we know that you're young and getting your degree. How do we know that you're here to be with us long term? Or are you here just to gain experience and then decide to leave in a couple of years? So could you tell us where you'd like to be in the next 3 to 5 years?
So, of course, you hit it right off the bat. I'm in the point in my career where I want to grow. I don't want to stay in stagnant water where, you're just kind of sitting in one position and not really growing. If you're not growing, what are you doing? So as part of the organization that I'm interviewing with, I would really like to have that opportunity to grow. And there's options for that. And it's all about what you can provide to the organization. And there's always room to grow somewhere. You just have to be able to identify it.
That's not a bad answer, Justin. That's not a bad answer at all. What if they followed it up with, are you planning on doing it here? Or are you planning on leaving us after we've invested time in you training?
No one ever anticipates on leaving their job while they're interviewing for it. Opportunities come across each and every day. But as long as the organization has the room for me to grow and to provide more, then there should be no issue.
Now that's a confident young man. I love it. I love it. Let me guys tell you a little bit more about Justin. What I liked about him initially is when he contacted me, if I told him to do something, he did it. If I said, get back to me tomorrow by 6 at 5:55, he did it. If I said, we need to talk right before your interview, he did it. If I said, call me right after, he did it. If I asked him to do homework, because everybody will have homework with me, he did his homework and he did it on time. And that's one of the things that I think projected him quickly. He did exactly what I was telling him to do. And I wasn't telling it to him in a demeaning way, but we were on a time schedule. He would call me and say, I got an interview tomorrow. And I was like, okay, let's talk tonight. Let's talk tomorrow. Text me if you can't. Text me if you can't get in or out or whatever you need to do, but make sure that you do what we need to do. And he did that. So what has your overall experience been just having a career coach to saying yes to that job offer?
It's opened up so many doors for me so quickly. And it's all about what DeShannon's doing. She has got all the skills and the mindset for telling you how you can improve this, but she can't make you do it. It's a two-way street. You've got to be willing to put forth just as much effort as she's putting forth. And from the point of starting with that resume and moving on into those interviews, it moves quickly, so you have to be able to act very fast.
So overall, would you say going in, you probably didn't know what to expect, but after it's over, what do you say now?
Oh, my first interview with DeShannon, I was very intimidated. I mean, this is a healthcare CEO. She's got all this experience, had an author. I mean, who hasn't Googled her before they want to talk to her, right? So I was very nervous. But as we went through, DeShannon kept it very candid. She was easy to talk to, and she was there to be on your team. So it made it a lot easier as it went through.
Awesome. I love it. I think we're going to get, Portia might be coming back in. Sometimes, the internet goes out. That's just the nature of it. But I think you guys have gotten enough of her story, if we can't pop her back in, to know that we're at the beginning stages of her, because we just finished her. Oh, she's back. I see her. So, welcome back.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. So Justin was just saying that, he had to put in the work, because I give y'all homework. Mm-hmm. I have deadlines for you to do. I want you to do certain things. So how has that been for you, Portia? That when you talk to me, you may not be expecting what I'm going to do next, but I do have some work for you guys to do. I can't do it all on my own.
Yeah, so I definitely was not expecting for you to give us tasks, but I'm actually glad you did, because it actually made me feel more involved too, and really understand everything. And it's just it makes me, then I can see directly just the things that you're doing for us and how you're helping us to become better by actually getting us to actually put in the work. So I appreciated you doing that. It was
Well, I asked Justin an interview question, so now it's your turn. Okay. So why are you looking to change jobs?
Well, I need a new change, because I just really wanted to use the skills that I got my degree in, and to better get me a job that I can be better prepared for the actual career goal that I'm looking for and into going, which is either getting my master's in biomedical science and or an MD program. So I just needed a different change. I got kind of stagnant at my current job, and I needed just a higher up position that I feel like I'm actually utilizing my skills that I worked so hard to obtain.
Okay, so I would immediately say, please don't say that.
Okay.
And the reason why, because you don't ever want to bash the job that you're on currently.
Oh, okay.
If it's not working for you, you can say it well, this more in line with what I want to do in the future. And I appreciate the skills that I've learned at my current position, but this more in lines with what my future goals are. That's why I'm there. And I owe it to myself to start looking out for my own future. See how that sounded a lot better?
That sounds a lot better.
Because when you keep saying, I want to use my skills, I'm going to say, what skills? Mm-hmm. What does that mean? What are you trying to utilize? So you can't, you don't want to ever bash the person who's feeding you right now. Because you don't know who that person knows to say, hey, doesn't Portia work for you? She's over here interviewing with me. So you don't want to do that. You can even say, I really like what I do right now, but it really doesn't align with what my future goals are. And so I started moving in that direction. It's the same answer. Mm-hmm. It's said a lot better.
Gotcha.
So just giving you that same question that is very similar. What made you decide that you wanted to apply for the job that you currently have an offer for and starting soon?
So in my current position, I've been there for a good while, and I've gained a lot of knowledge through taking on additional tasks that weren't necessarily assigned to me, but it gave me room to grow and to know more. And I've gained that knowledge, and I'm working on my degree, so I really need that management aspect to sail at home. I need to gain that experience, and it also puts me back into primary care, which is my passion.
You see that, Portia? He's listened to me a time or two, because what he's saying is I gained a lot of experience where I'm at, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I really want to go into management, and the position he has now, there was not going to be a place to manage in that current role. So we really shaped his questions so that he can grow in the position that he now has to offer. We countered a couple of times, and now he's starting very soon. He's starting really soon. So those are the kinds of things that we worked on with him. But because he hasn't managed before, now the challenge comes because he's young. You guys are young. There's a lot of people much older than he is at this position, and they're going to challenge his authority. So we're going to give him tips that will make him still be the person in charge, because he's still the manager, but he to gain the respect he deserved from people who have been there for years. He's got some longevity at his place. And so not only do we want you to get the career that you want, we want to move you into management if that's what you so desire. And I don't just drop you off at the step of management. I'm going to carry you on into whatever goal you are, because office manager and practice manager, two different things. Practice manager, administrator is a whole nother ball game. Administrator to any of your C levels, that's something totally different. So we've got still a lot of work with Justin to do, but we're super excited. So Portia, tell us where you are in your coaching with me. So what stage are you in? What are we working on now?
Still interviewing skills pretty much, because I still have questions and how to appropriately answer certain questions. So that's one of the main things that we are. Like, the resume is great. That's just like what's left.
Okay. So Justin, you start your job in a week or so?
Yes, in early July, which is sneaking right around the corner.
You know what? I usually start my jobs midsummer too. I kind of like that when people are going on vacation. It's less people in the office. It gives you an opportunity to kind of get your feet wet a little bit. But we jump in the deep end, feet first. We're not divers. We just jump straight in. So tell me what you're looking forward to in this new role that you've taken.
So a lot of people, they go to school, they get their degrees, but then it's like, what now? I have this degree, but no one will hire me because I don't have the experience or the skill set. With this is going to give me the skill set and the experience partnered with that degree. I mean, and at this young, what's going to stop me? I mean, the future is bright if I do this appropriately and I'm effective in what I do.
Yes, I definitely always encourage you guys, don't just do things for doing things' sake. You can be a jerk boss. I'm just going to go in here and be a jerk if you want to be a jerk, but that's not going to gain you any favors right now. And so I want to really just help you in this transition a little bit so that you will know what to do and how to do them appropriately. And I know you've got a great team of people around you, but you have to separate the feelings from the fact. And we really want to only make decisions based on the fact. Just a moment to just work on the fact. So we're getting ready to wrap up in just a few minutes. I wasn't going to be on here long because I know you guys were like a little bit nervous, but it wasn't that bad. I just wanted people to understand the process, what it's like, and it's individual. Like, Portia needs something totally different than you. And so I'm not giving you her program. You all are on different paths. So if you talk to someone out there now about maybe their career, or maybe they're still thinking about, is this what I want to do? What would you tell them, Justin?
It's back to that first question. Are you happy with where you're at, and are you ready for a change? If you're ready for that, talk to DeShannon, because she's going to give you the steps and the skills and the practice you need to get that career jump started and moving again.
I love it. I love it. Oh, hey, Japortia. I mean, it's storming here, so I know it's getting ready to do something crazy. But Japortia, if you had to tell somebody what it's like to have a career coach, and maybe they don't know if they need one, what would you say to them?
I would say just go for it because it gets you prepared for just not a job that you want, but it gets you prepared for anything. Because I feel as if the things that you've helped me with just didn't prepare me for a job, but it prepares me when I began to interview for my professional schooling as well. So I would say like it's just overall just an improvement in every area that you possibly need in a professional setting.
Oh, look at you answering that question with confidence. I love it. When I normally, even when you guys don't know it, I'm constantly interviewing you. I'm constantly listening for cues. I'm watching you right now. I'm looking at Justin answer his questions. I'm watching Portia be confident more, even after I ripped her last one apart. She knows that I'm doing it just to better her. So I wanted people to just see what it's really like to have a career coach. I am on your team. I am your biggest cheerleader. I'm your hardest coach, all wrapped up in one. I want you to really live beyond good. I'm telling you, I want you to win. So that's why I wanted you to meet Justin and Portia. And I want them to tell you what it's like kind of working with me. So don't be scared. I know they said I was a little bit, they was nervous at first. But now I think they appreciate what I've done. And it's kind of giving them a better sight because they will be managers one day, hiring, firing. If as a CEO, you're going to be mentoring other people. So I wanted you guys just to, share. I know you said that you guys, Justin wanted to be a CEO, but what is something that you didn't realize you were, but now you realize you are after talking to me? That's a little bit of a harder question that may need some thought, but think about the things we've talked about on your resume. Think about the things we've talked about in your interviewing skills. Think about the things that I'm constantly asking you about that you're having to repeat over and over again, because those are the things that I'm wanting to pull out of you without having to say, I'm trying to pull this out of you. I want you to get this. So I'm going to start with you, Justin. Maybe it was something that I said or shared on your resume or in an interview tip that really maybe it elevated your confidence, or you didn't think about yourself in that way. What was that like?
So one thing that you caught on my resume that I found interesting was how I serve as kind of a liaison with physicians, and how physician liaisons and integration specialists and that kind of thing, how largely that's growing. And I wasn't aware of that. And DeShannon said, hey, you might want to start focusing on a little bit of these points and make sure that you include these things on your resume, because those are things that healthcare settings are looking for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about you, Portia? What was something that you may not have? I know when you got your resume, you were like, whoa.
I know.
What is something that I've done for you, or maybe pointed out for you, that may not be thought of?
You made me realize how basically vital my position was when it comes to the patient and physician interaction and how I help the process go along. Like, even when you saw my resume, you was just like, I know you do more than this. And when you gave me my assignment for me to list every single thing that I've done as a medical scribe, it literally showed. I'm just like, wow, I never thought to put this. And also, you also made me realize that I have a lot more laboratory skills that I didn't realize that I basically possess. So that just brought everything to life base for me.
I love it. Y'all are so cute. I'm a proud auntie. I say that in love because I am so proud of you guys for taking control of your careers early. A lot of times people wait, and it's not that you can't, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can make a change. I firmly believe that. But because you guys are starting in your 20s, Man, you'll be so much further along than I was in my 20s. I was still trying to figure it out. And I didn't have a coach. So I made a lot of mistakes. People let me crash and burn. I had to rebuild, start over. I climbed that ladder, go up 3, back 2. And I don't want you guys to have to do that. I want you to keep climbing, keep reaching, because it is attainable. So before we get out of here, guys, I want you to give some last words. Somebody saying, well, I don't know. I still don't know. And listen, I've got clients. I don't want people to think I don't have clients, because there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of career coaches out there. But maybe you might want to just encourage somebody. Somebody's, don't know what to do or what to think, and just give them some encouragement to let them know that they can do it. So we're going to start with you, DePortia. So what do you got to say to encourage somebody that may be struggling?
I would say to just, if you're looking like it's kind of like what Justin has been saying. Like, I just feel like if you just feel as if that you just need something different, like, because that's how I felt. I just felt like I just want to be in a different place. And I feel like there's always room for growth. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for elevation. And especially in this climate and things, like, you just want to be as well-rounded as you possibly can be, because nothing is always guaranteed. So I feel like that's just enough to be like, okay, let me just see what improvements I can get, what advice I can get, and just go for it. You won't, like, you'll appreciate it so much.
Oh, thank you. Okay, go ahead and encourage somebody that may be, I know you've got a friend you've been talking to. What are you saying to her?
So if you're applying for all these positions and you're not getting much feedback, you're getting that interview, but you're not getting that lucky call saying, hey, we'd like to make you an offer. Don't give up, because there is hope. There are just some things you need to work on. And DeShannon can outline those for you. And even if you're not looking, especially with how things are with the pandemic, you never know when your job may be on the line potentially. So it's always good to have that backup plan.
Awesome. So listen, guys, I am a career coach. And what, people like, well, what gave you that experience? Literally hired and fired hundreds and hundreds of people. And from everybody from the cleaning crew to writing physician contracts. I told you I have some engineers, I've got some doctors, I've got some lawyers, I've got people that need to know if they need to apply for professional schools. I've got people going from, I had a housewife wanting to return to work after 12 years. Didn't think she could do it, but she's working right now. Sometimes you just need somebody in your corner rooting you on, but not just telling you, yes, you can, but showing you how you can. And that's what one of the things I do. I don't just tell you how, I show you how, and we walk through how, and it's getting proven results. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, DePortia. You guys have been amazing. I told you it wasn't going to be bad, but this is something that they wanted to do for me, to really show somebody that what it's like to actually have a career coach. So I'm getting out of here. We're getting out of here before the weather gets bad. But until next time, please follow me on any social media. It's at DeShannon Speaks, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And we'll see you next week, Thursday, for inspiration. Week following that, we're going to do some more coaching. And I will see you until then. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye.